I am loving.
I am fabulous.
I am beautiful.
I am saved.
I am a victor.
I am faithful.
I am devout.
I am accepted.
I am a Christian. I am MCC.
And I am MCC.
I am MCC.
I am MCC.
And I am MCC.
I am MCC. I am MCC.
I am MCC.
I am MCC.
Our gospel is taken from the gospel according to John chapter 14 verses 5 to 7.
Thomas said to him, Lord, we do not know where you are going. How can we know the way? Jesus said to him, I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. If you know me, you will know my Father also. From now on, you do know him and have seen him.
Have you ever tried to travel to a foreign land, a foreign country, or even in a local city or province not familiar to you? If you are like me, who is from Metro Manila and has went around in Manila and its surrounding areas, have you already traveled and explored other cities, towns, or tourist destinations in Mindanao or one of the islands like Cebu, Panay, or Negros? Right now, there's actually a part of me that seems to want to go to Romblon and explore Romblon. But let's not even go far. How well do you know Metro Manila if you are from Metro Manila? Or how well do you know Cebu if you are from Cebu? Have you really explored everything there is to explore in our national capital region and surrounding provinces? Now, traveling nowadays is easier as compared to 10 or more years ago, not only because of the advances in transportation and not only because we now have cheaper flights, but also because we now have Google Maps and various other GPS applications like Waze. Getting around a city or province is easier now with those applications in our phones than holding an actual paper map many decades ago. Although even Waze is not always reliable, nor does it always show us the best way to go. Our gospel lectionary today is one of the famous passages often used by many conservative Christians to claim that Christianity, or more accurately, their version of Christianity is the only spiritual path, the only right religion. But I am not preaching today about ecumenism or plurality of religions. My preaching today is on how we as Christians understand and practice this passage. When those who claim to follow Jesus say that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life, what do we actually mean? How do we actually understand it? What should the passage mean? How should we understand it now? Ego sum via veritas et vita. I am the way, the truth, and the life. So says Jesus according to the author of the Gospel of John. What I observe in most Christians, even us in MCC, is that we seem to misunderstand and confuse the way with the map or the GPS application. The map can perhaps be a metaphor for the Bible or a metaphor for our set of doctrines and theological propositions. It can also be the traditions and practices of the institutional church. Perhaps the map can also be a metaphor for our ritual worship or other spiritual devotions. A map can be one of these or all of these together. These maps, individually and collectively, are misconstrued to be the way. But they are not the way. They are guides to the actual way, the actual path that we need to walk on. The passion and commitment of many Christians for this passage, the passage, I am the way, the truth, and the life, can be described to a person who says that he knows very well a foreign city, like maybe, just for example, Paris, London, or Venice, only because he or she or they have studied the maps of London, the maps of Venice. The person tells you how wonderful and how beautiful the city or tourist destinations are, as if he himself has visited the place. The person's description and claim is solely based on having studied the maps, looked at beautiful pictures in Instagram, read travel blogs and reviews from TripAdvisor, but have never actually traveled and explored the city or the actual tourist destination. While maps, pictures, and testimonies are good guides, they are not they are not the same as the real thing. They are not the city itself. They are not the road, the streets, the sites themselves. The various maps show the way, but it is not the way itself. The map shows some factual truths about the city or any geographical area, but those actual truths are not truth itself. The way and the truth is found only when we walk the path, when you walk the path and live through the experience. Some travelers often said that for us to really appreciate and know a different place very well, or even our own home city, we need to travel or explore the place more than once. Not only exploring and seeing the popular tourist sites, which may be done on the first visit or the first travel, but also look into some less known itineraries during the second visit. Perhaps the third or fourth or further travel, the further visit to the same place, we move from a kind of tourism attitude towards getting to know in a much deeper level the people and culture of that place. Now, when I say travel, it does not necessarily mean having to go to a foreign country or famous tourist destination like South Korea, Tokyo, Japan, or Morocco. Even traveling here in our own country, the Philippines, there is a lot to explore, appreciate, and to know. To know the many natural wonders and communities we have in our more than 7,000 islands. To say that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life is very much like traveling. Hence, the Christian life over the centuries have been described as a journey and as a pilgrimage by many mystics and theologians, who themselves have walked the journey and made the pilgrimage both literally and metaphorically. The problem nowadays is that many Christians, especially conservative ones, not only put too much focus on the map or GPS application, they often confuse it for the real thing. It is as if the way is synonymous to the map or the GPS application. It is as if the guidance that the map says is itself truth. It is as if devoting all our time, talent, and treasure in appreciating the map, pictures, and testimonies are already enough and are already the fulfillment and embodiment of what the passage of what the passage says. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life, not the map, not the GPS application, not the photos nor the testimonies. They only point us to the way, but the way is something we need to walk on. The truth is something we need to live by. For us Christians, Jesus is the way. Jesus is our way. And what it means is that we have to walk the journey. We have to make the pilgrimage ourselves and with each other. It means we have to finally step out of the door and to actually travel. It means that we have to move away from knowing the truth about the way and start experiencing the truth itself by walking the way, by encountering it, by living it. And for many, we know that traveling or journeying takes a lot of commitment, perseverance, patience, resources, and all of our mental, emotional, and physical strength. It also requires a lot of research and study. It takes a lot of courage and attentive attention. Also, it means having to ask directions from strangers and local people despite already having an online map and GPS application. The map, while good in guiding us in our journey, sometimes still fails to show us and point us to the right direction. Despite having the map and reading the latest testimony by other travelers, we still need to figure out the best way forward when we are on the road. We still need to consult actual people and we need to consult the actual people in the actual place, in the actual city or town. We need to commit to memory many signposts and markers. And despite our best efforts, we still get lost or turn the wrong way. But eventually we find the right way or an alternative route. We reach our destination and we return home. Or maybe return to our hotel after walking for many hours getting lost. It happened to me and Lawrence when we were in Taiwan. And so the journey has exhausted our bodies, minds, and even our hearts, even when the travel or other people have tested our patience and irritability, even when it caused us to panic or to fear, we celebrate. We celebrate the food we have eaten. We celebrate the new places we have seen, the people we have met, and the learnings we have gained. We celebrate them and we want to testify, to tell the world of our journey, of our experience. We celebrate and feel a deeper sense of joy for the whole journey with all of its challenges, surprises, and happy memories. To say that Jesus is the way and that we follow Jesus is to walk that way, to walk the way itself. We are meant, yes, I will say this, we are meant to be lost in Jesus, and we are meant to find our way in Jesus, with Jesus. The truth and the life in the person of Jesus is meant to be experienced. Jesus is to be encountered among the strangers and foreigners, some of which become our friends, our mentors and teachers, and sometimes even our lovers. We must also allow the journey to change us, change our hearts, minds, and our stories. We must allow the journey to transform us into a new way of living, a new way of thinking, and a new way of being. Most travelers know this, that each journey changes you and molds you. Now, it is really okay. It is okay to be scared of both the journey and the transformation that it will do to you. It is okay to be afraid of getting lost in unfamiliar places. It is okay to feel vulnerable in places and situations we don't have full control or familiarity with. It is okay to feel insecure when we are surrounded by people we don't know and who are different from us. After all, Jesus is really not the kind of way, truth, and life comparable to Paris, London, or Venice. Jesus is more of a journey to the slums of Kolkata, India, the sweatshops of Bangladesh, and the many refugee camps across the different borders in the Mediterranean. Locally, here in the Philippines, Jesus is a journey to Valenzuela, the city of modern-day slavery. Jesus is a pilgrimage to the various indigenous or tribal communities in Mindanao whose ancestral lands are being taken by force. And perhaps Jesus is the way. When we say that Jesus is the way, Jesus, what is meant is that it is also walking in the streets, on the streets, with protesters of various sectors, minorities, and oppressed peoples. We also know, based on the map that we have, the Bible, that the way, the truth, and the life of Jesus is a journey to the cross. It is a journey to the cross. That's Jesus. Jesus as the way, the truth, and the life is the way of the cross, the way to the cross. Who wants that journey? Who wants that journey? Who wants to walk that journey? Yet lest we forget, the journey to the cross, the journey of the cross, is not the final destination. The journey takes us beyond Calvary, far beyond Calvary, and towards Easter. Easter, towards the resurrection and the new life that it brings. The way takes us even further beyond Easter and towards Pentecost and the new courage and the new gifts that Pentecost offers. To be Christian is to walk the actual way. We must not confuse it with the map, however wonderful the map is. We must not be content in our comfort zones, reading travel blogs and watching travel shows. To be Christian is to go on an adventure with an ounce of faith. Jesus is the way, and Jesus waits for you and me to walk the journey and encounter Him in the many roads, places, and peoples of this world.